Welcome to the world of anime recaps, and today we'll do a run over the show called Shironeko Project ZERO CHRONICLES. The story is set in a time when the world was divided into two kingdoms. The White Kingdom of the world was in the sky and was ruled by the Queen Iris, whereas the King of Darkness ruled over the Kingdom of Black that was on the land below. Queen Iris had to play the role of maintaining peace and balance between the world of the two kingdoms. Our show starts with Queen Iris engaging the forces of darkness to protect the parent rune, a crystal with unlimited energy source at all costs. Down on the land, our protagonist, who is an orphan living in a village, prepares his gear as his village is about to be attacked by soldiers of darkness. The young man gets assigned to take the children of the village away, but things don't go as planned and they get attacked by a giant centipede monster who attacks both the children and the adults. The monster kills most children, but the young man manages to take one of them to safety. Sadly, the child who was taken to safety passes away due to the poison of the monster. The young man returns to the land, where once his village was to find out about every single villager being killed in the attack. A man covered in armor named Skiers approaches the village to find the young man grieving over the death of the villagers. Skier asks the young man about what he's doing, and he tells him that he's digging up graves for all the villagers. The young man stumbles down from hunger and exhaustion, and Skiers offers him food. He accepts without a second thought and indulges into a little conversation with Skiers. Skiers reveals him being a candidate for the King of Darkness and how he just lost the fight against the King of Darkness. When the young man finishes his bread, Skiers gives him a sword and asks him for a duel. The two fight for a little while, and Skiers sees potential in the young man. He gives him his sword and tells him to go to the kingdom and find Valis, who can help him in becoming a candidate for the King of Darkness, as the Kingdom of Black needs someone to maintain the balance. Skier makes the young man his heir and passes away from the injuries he received in the battle against the King of Darkness. At the Kingdom of White, an attack is launched by some creatures of darkness. Queen Iris fights them off and borrows power from the parent rune to deliver a deadly blow from the creatures of darkness, somehow just revive themselves. The army of the Kingdom of Fight is involved as well and is being led by their commander named Fios. Fios assists the queen and they succeed in defeating the creatures of darkness. Back at the Kingdom of Black, a few days pass by and the young man finally reaches the kingdom with the goal of becoming the Prince of Darkness in mind. He manages to find Valis after looking around a little and tells him about the death of Skiers when Valis questioned him about the sword. Valis attacks the young man without thinking, but later comes to an understanding that Skier must have seen promise in the young man. The Kingdom of White gets attacked by a beast named Baal, who's an incredibly strong beast covered with armor and has wings. Queen Iris runs to confront Baal immediately, but he has already destroyed many buildings, causing chaos in the kingdom. The leader of the elves named Alantia tries to fight Baal off with his magic, but since his magic did little to no effect on Baal, he accepts his defeat. Iris interferes before Baal could kill Alantia and attacks him with all the magic she had, but ends up failing to cause any real damage. Queen Iris wishes to use the power from the parent rune again, but Alantia stops her since it might lead to the rune getting unstable and causing a catastrophe. Iris runs out of options, loses the will to fight, but Baal loses interest in fighting her anymore and flees. On the land of Kingdom of Black, a woman named Groza is traveling on a wasteland with some people when they get attacked by monsters. Groza shows her impressive strength and takes out most of the monsters easily, but gets attacked by a beast from behind her back. The young man jumps into saving Groza, who takes him to a bar to thank him after he tells her about him being a candidate for the Throne of Darkness. Groza suggests the young man participate in an upcoming tournament between the successors of the throne, where the winner will be rewarded with a legendary black sword and the official position as the Prince of Darkness. The young man accepts, and the tournament starts a few days later, and the young man progresses to the final round by defeating a beast in the first. He fights a guy named Adele and defeats him to become the Prince of Darkness, claiming the black sword. Valis calls the Dark Prince and assigns him a mission to deliver an important message to the White Queen. Our Dark Prince leaves the kingdom on a ship with Adele and Groza. The group is welcomed by Fios from before, who's suspicious of them but agrees on taking them to the Queen after Adele convinces him with a smooth talk. It is revealed that the message was about an alliance between the kingdom to fight off Baal so they can maintain the balance of the world. The queen agrees after the young man explains that many lives will be saved with this alliance after 2 days. The queen arrives at the Black Kingdom where the army of the Black was already prepared for war. Ball pulled up on them suddenly, and as expected, the attacks of the army caused little to no damage on him. The whole army got defeated and only Groza and Valis were left behind. The King of Darkness joins in on the action, but things weren't going too well for him before the queen used her magic to restrain Ball. The king and the queen finally managed to lock Ball up in a volcano after a fierce fight. The king asks Groza to deliver another message to Queen Iris. Groza visits the White Kingdom again, accompanied by the young man and Adele. The message was about the extension of their alliance so both kingdoms can recover from the damage Ball inflicted. When the group was returning from the castle, Adele started to act weirdly and attack the queen after transforming. The young man saved the queen in time by cutting Adele in half. The young man gets arrested by the guards after Feos accuses him of trying to kill the queen. Groza returns having no options left, and the young man is approached by a white cat who helps him get out of the prison. The cat is revealed to be Iris, and the two exchange words and promise to bring peace to the world. A few days later, the White Kingdom prepares for war as Feos comes to know about the severe condition of the queen due to her overuse of magic. Feos looks for a cure to restore her magic. Meanwhile, at the Black Kingdom, the young man trains with Valis. The two have a word on the upcoming war, and as Valis declares it unnecessary, Groza arrives asking the young man to help her defeat a monster nearby causing problems. The two get attacked by little monsters, but Groza falls into a pit, luckily getting saved by the young man. The two confront the real monster inside the pit, and they manage to slay it as the young man's training pays off. The White Kingdom gets attacked by the army of the Black, and Iris uses her last magic to form a barrier for protecting her land and people. Iris collapses, but later gets her magic restored, as Feos has found a cure. The King of Black reveals himself and a battle starts between him and Iris. The young boy is attacked by Adele, who was somehow alive and was there to keep the Prince of Darkness busy. The boy rushes to the Kingdom of White after defeating Adele, but it was too late since Iris had already given up. She decided to sacrifice herself and uses the power of the Parent Rune to restrain the King of Black. The boy uses this opportunity to kill the king, bringing peace back to the world. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more great anime recaps just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.